So, alright, so here we are with LimDep or LimDep opened. So I've got the project file open here. If that pops up, if you click on Project and Import and Variables, then you should be able to import a comma separated file. So here's concertdata2.csv, and this is the file I want to open. So click Open, and here it is with 1,185 observations. So I don't want to lose that thing, so I'm going to click File and Save Project As. Click that, and I'm going to find a place to put it. So I'm just going to drop it on my desktop, and I'm going to give it the same name as the comma separated file. I think it was Concert Data 2. Click Save, and now let's see. It's got a name in this the blue area instead of just my untitled project. So now if I want to estimate a regression model, I'm going to click on Model, and I just want to run a linear model, linear regression. The dialog box opens up, and it's got a space for the dependent variable and independent variables. So my dependent variable, let's try vote 3. I'm going to estimate a linear probability contingent valuation model. So my independent variables, I want to have a constant. And let's see, tax is the cost amount that was a different one was presented to each respondent, chosen from about, I think, 10 amounts. And so now if I click 1, it will estimate an ordinary least squares regression. Okay, so here are my results. I have a R squared of 0.00373, so very low. I've got a constant equal to 0.51. Since this is a linear probability model, this tells me that if the tax amount is 0, 51% of respondents will vote in favor of the policy. And as my tax increases, I have a negative sign on the coefficient, which tells me that as the tax increases, the percentage of votes in favor of the policy will fall. My t statistic, which LimDep is calling a z-score, is -2, which tells me that it's significant at the 95% level, and so my p-value is 0.0354. Okay, now I want to save the command that LimDep used, so I'm going to, and that command will be the line of code directly above the results. So I copy that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the File box and click New, and I want to save a text command document. If I click OK, and then I paste, and it'll paste that command in the project file or in the text file for me. So this is also an untitled text file, so I want to save this. I don't want to lose that command, so I'm going to click File and Save As. Here we are again on my desktop. I'll save this as concert data 2.lim. Okay, now the guy has a name, and the next time I open up LimDep, I'll be able to find this file and proceed that way. So in order to estimate willingness to pay, you can use the walled command. So I don't believe there's a dialog box for this. So I'm just going to type walled with my semicolon. My starting values are the coefficients from the previous regression. So that command is start equals b, and b is for the betas. And my variance covariance matrix can be found from the command variance equals variance b. And so my first function would be, we'll label it as willingness to pay. And since this is a linear probability model, willingness to pay is going to be the triangle formed by the horizontal axis, the y-axis, and the regression line. So that's a triangle, so I'm going to go 1/2 times the base of the triangle, and we'll say that is the intercept, so b1. And then we're going to multiply that by the height of the triangle, which is negative b1 divided by b2. And we'll put a $sign to end that line of code. We put the negative sign here because the coefficient on the slope, or the slope was negative, the coefficient on the tax variable was negative. So if I highlight those two lines of code and click go, it will run those whatever lines of code that you highlight. So click go, and here is the output from the walled procedure. So our mean willingness to pay is $431 with a standard error of 1.63 and a t-stat or a z-score of 2.64. And our 95% confidence interval is between $111 and $751. So now I don't want to lose my results if I exit out of LimDep. So I'm going to click File, Save As, and the name that LimDep wants you to assign it is Untitled Output. I'm going to change that so I recognize it next time. And I'm going to put it in the desktop with all my other LimDep files. And I'm going to call that concert data 2.lim. Save that. And so that already exists, and that is my command line. So I don't want to replace that. So I'm going to click No. And I'll just call this concert output.lim. Save. And so now I have my output saved, and I can continue working in LimDep.